Hey Heather,
Hey Mike, how you doing?
good in yourself?
Doing good. What's new with you?
Not too much. Let's see. The last live stream was November 14th. And since then, I've climbed some mountains, did some rappelling, canyoneering, but haven't haven't been far outside of town. So yeah, no big adventures since the last live stream.
Okay. Do you have any plans for a big adventure?
Oh yeah, I'm cooking up a number of various ideas for 2025, but
Ooh.
nothing really solid yet. The winter is always is a quiet time for me in terms of travel. It would be really nice if I could get somewhere to the southern hemisphere this time of year. Like I'd love to go to New Zealand right now, and it's not out of the question I might do Kilimanjaro in January. Um,
Oh,
but that's still kind of in the idea phase and don't have anyone to go with at this point.
well, that still sounds like a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any trivia for today?
I do have a magic trick, no trivia
Oh,
though.
good.
So I haven't done a magic trick for a while. So let me point the camera towards my desk. Okay, this is the way I do this as a magic trick involves some sleight of hand, in particular, forcing a card to the bottom. And I'm not going to expect you guys to learn how I do that. But you ask the audience to draw a card. So let's just say they draw this one. They look at it. You can see in this case it's the Joker. You say, okay, tuck it back in, and then you say, okay. Then you give the next direction, and I'm pretending to shuffle the cards while I'm talking, but really I forced it to the bottom. I can't expect to teach that in a live stream. So here's how you can do it a simple way. You ask the audience to draw any card. So let's just say they draw the Jack of Spades, and then you just tell them, "I'm going to put this at the bottom of the deck," and then you say, "We don't need all these cards. I'm going to get rid of some," and then you just take a bunch and you get rid of them. That might be too many, or you can ask the audience to do it. You might say, "Okay, uh, divide these cards into three piles." And let's say they do that. Make sure then you say, okay, we don't need these. And make sure you keep the pile that has the card that they selected at the bottom. And then you do this. You spell out the card. So here I go. JACKOFSPADES. And you put the rest of the top, and now let's do it again. JACKOFSPADES. And one more time. JACKOFSPADES. So the next card should be the Jack of Spades. Let's see if I did it right. Yay. So
Woo.
it just works out mathematically because basically when you're running through these cards, you're running through cards that don't matter and you're controlling where the Jack of Spades is. So it works every time. Again, if you are a magician and can force a card to the bottom, it's even better. And the way I do that is I would
Oh,
say, okay, let me read your mind, and I would just do a lot of um, showmanship and say and get to the Jack of Spades. Lots of times I do it like black face card spade is at the Jack of Spades, and then it's oh wow, and then I say but wait, there's more, and then I do that thing where I run through the deck three times. But if you're, like I said, just a beginner, you can skip that whole mind reading part. Just deliberately put it on the bottom, and then again run through it three times, and then after you run through each time, just put the rest on top without changing the order. And then after the third time, the next card will be the card that was on the bottom.
I
And you
love
have
that.
to do that with, I think that you need to have something like 15 to 25 cards for it to work. There needs to be enough so that you don't run out of cards, and there can't be so many that you have twice or more than you need. So yeah, so there you go. There's your magic trick. Haven't done one for a while. And so go out and amaze your friends. This is a good trick. That was some good stuff I just said. So you guys can thank me later after you amaze your friends. And Heather was warning me before the show that her router is on its last legs and she might be cutting out, which she seems to have just done. So I'm just going to have a look at audience questions here and just do this myself until she comes back. Okay, let's start at the very top. Okay, Paul Andrews asks, do you ever use ChatGPT to answer complicated math problems? How are the results? A short answer is no. I probably should try that, as it's a decent question. However, let me try to focus this camera.
Sorry.
Hi, Heather, welcome back.
Hey.
I was just in the middle of answering the first question. I am very unimpressed by AI. And I think with a math question, if the answer is just a number, that's something where maybe it would do well at. But I can tell writing from AI easily. And we see bots making posts on my forum all the time. And you can just always tell that they were lacking a soul of whoever wrote it. It's just like a big spray of facts with, I don't know, just no soul behind it. And it's often not on topic. And usually they find some excuse to plug some link about something. And but I'm going to have to try that. So thanks for the idea, and maybe we'll talk about it more on the next live stream.
Awesome.
And with that, I will hand it back to Heather.
And I just have to say, for those who are watching, my router is dying, so I might drop out a couple times. I do apologize for that. Next is from Paul Andrews, who says, while we understand the betting systems don't change the house edge, do you appreciate the fun factor, the volatility control, or bankroll management they can offer?
I will admit that they do those things that, depending upon your reason or your goal for gambling, a betting system can help you achieve that. But again, there's always some flip side of the coin. You know, if you're looking to make a lot of money, like have a really big win with a small bankroll, a betting system can help you achieve that, but it's at the cost of usually losing. So yeah, I respect that betting systems can achieve certain things, but as you said, they not only can't overcome the house advantage, they can't even dent it, and in either direction.
Okay. Next one is a fun one. Jean says, today is National Prohibition Repeal Day. What are some of your favorite intoxicating liquors for beverage purposes?
I am a vodka man. That's my first liquor of choice. Second choice would be tequila. Not a big fan of whiskey. So, and not a huge fan of like bourbon and rum either. So yeah, there you go. And I did not know it was National Prohibition Repeal Day. So thank you.
Yeah. Our next question is from Paul Andrews, who says, how do legal US-based online slots compare to Vegas physical slots regarding the house edge?
That's a good question. A lot of casinos have pretty tight slots, and the reason is that they offer pretty generous bonuses, and they try to recoup that the cost of doing business with the bonuses with tight slots. And so, you know, they might have a bonus like, you know, deposit X dollars and we will match it, or we might double it to give you 3 times the amount of money. But then there's an enormous wagering requirement, and often has to be done on slots. So they try to get that money back by grinding you down with a high house advantage on the slots. Now, it used to be that the slots with online casinos were pretty loose, but that was before there was a bonus practically all the time. I almost think that you're kind of a fool. Well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say you're a fool to play online if you don't get a bonus, but I'm going to stop myself because there's so many rules with if you accept a bonus that you have to play in exactly a certain way. And if you just don't want that headache of having to read 3 pages of rules, then just make a deposit and refuse any bonus and just do whatever you want. And by the way, I've had a business idea for years to have a casino that had a less than a 1% house advantage on everything for players that just wanted loose rules and didn't want to fuss with bonuses. But I have yet to get that off the ground. So that's my answer to that one.
That would be fantastic if you got that off the ground. If you do that, you've got to tell us about it.
Oh, of course. I will hope that you guys will play there if I ever do.
Oh, yeah. Northern Jim says, at a local casino, for every 500 played in the slots the same day, I'd get a $25 voucher for lottery tickets of my choosing. Video poker counts, but it's all 7-5 jacks or better. Is there an actual value in that offer?
Okay, so let's see here. So the house advantage with 7-5 jacks or better is going to be, so what you do is you take the house advantage with 9-6 jacks or better, which is 0.5%, and then you subtract 1% for every unit that the flush or the full house goes down. So the full house went down from 9 to 7, and the flush went down from 6 to 5. So we lose 3% due to that stingy pay table, or we might say we add 3% to the house edge. So now we're at a house advantage of 3.5%. You run that through, you run $500 through that, and you can expect to lose $17.50. So the value of $25 of lottery tickets is about half of that. So the value of the lottery tickets is $12.50. You're losing $17.50 to get it. Therefore, you're at a loss of $5. So there you go. It's not an advantage play. However, if you're in a gambling mood anyway, and would be playing video poker anyway, go ahead and do that and get the lottery tickets. And by the way, if you have the choice, take scratchers. And the higher the denomination, the better. In general, those offer a better value than lottery games where you pick numbers and there's a random draw.
Okay. Our next question is from Paul Andrews, who says, I would love to see an in-depth video of you explaining how historical horse racing machines truly work and how to get an edge on them. There's very little information out there on this topic.
It's funny you mentioned that. Yesterday I was giving 3 friends my tour of downtown Las Vegas, and one of them heard about the Derby machine somewhere in downtown Las Vegas. And I said, oh, I'd be happy to show that to you. I might have showed them anyway. So it's on the upstairs of the D, and they still have a classic old Derby game where bets are a quarter and it's all mechanical. I'm pretty sure that these things were made in the early 80s. And I'm pretty sure that this is the last working one left on the planet. So I love that game. It doesn't offer necessarily great value, but it's just very nostalgic, and it's a very slow way to lose your money because the game only has like 1 race per minute, and you can bet as little as a quarter. So that game is much loved by many people. But how to get an edge on them, you basically just can't. That game has a house advantage of about 12%, and you just cannot beat that. Just playing straight up. I don't know exactly how the game has a mechanism to determine what the odds are and who's going to win. who knows? Maybe if you played it a huge amount of time, you might be able to see patterns in the races, because back then the coding was not as good as it is today. But I don't think anybody is going to sit there and study thousands of races on a game that takes quarters. So yeah, so short answer is no. That game there's no advantage to be had.
Okay. Our next question comes from Jean, who says, when the changes to Mega Millions lottery begins in April 2025, will you perform a new analysis updating us on how bad the lottery is using the new rules?
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for reminding me about that. Yes, I will absolutely be covering that rule change and tell you how it affects the odds and everything like that.
And then this is more of a statement. Northern Jim says that magic trick would be hilarious if it was with a baccarat shoe.
Yeah, and by the way, another good thing with that magic trick is you can do it with any cards. They don't even need to be standard cards. They can be cards like for Uno or for set, anything like that. So I'd love to have some magic tricks that you can do with just a normal deck at the ready. And that one that I just showed you is a good example.
Our next question comes from No Pick 6. Was the Professional Video Poker channel yours? And if yes, it was a great channel, but all the videos were deleted.
Not familiar with that channel, but it certainly wasn't mine. So yeah, but that's all I can say about that one.
Okay. We have a couple statements about ChatGPT. Someone is giving my router the last rites. Thank you, Jean. Real Deck says, I notice you don't have any strategy on your site for Super Omaha. Is it just not a popular game, or maybe you have it listed as something else?
I'll be honest, I've never even heard of it. Let me do a quick search on that. Super Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. High variance games. Yeah, I'm looking at a page about it. I have never seen it, but I see it's by High Variance Games, and I've met with them before at the table game shows. So I should reach out to them and ask them where it can be played and if they would share their math report with me. And I'll try to get that on the site. But as of now, I have nothing on it.
Okay. Steven says, what do you think is better to look for in a casino game? A fun playing experience, or the lowest house edge, or a balance of both?
Oh, absolutely, the low house edge. That's what you got to get first, and then look for something that's a fun playing experience. Now, somebody might say, Wiz, you're always singing the praises of Pai Gow tiles, and that doesn't have the lowest house edge, which would be a very valid point. So I do consider the fun element of it too. And I just play Pai Gow for very low stakes, and I just like it. And it's worth it to me to give up a little on the house edge. In that case, just for the playing experience. So yeah. And by the way, I'm going to Reno tomorrow, and I look forward to playing a little bit of tiles at the Silver Legacy. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I can say on that one.
Awesome. The next one is more of a statement than a question. I'm in Vegas this week and ran into a blackjack variant called Double Down Madness. I read your analysis and have done really well. It has a higher house edge than blackjack, but it seems like a good game.
Yeah. Do you know who the mathematician was behind that game? Yours truly.
Oh.
Yes. Light and Wonder came with me with the basic idea of a blackjack game where you could act right after your first card, including like doubling with just an ace. So I was the one that came up with all the specific rules. And I can't say that I own the game or anything, but I kind of feel it's my baby, and I really like the game. So, and I'm glad you like it too, and have done well. So that is on field trial, or it's just maybe done with the field trial by now, and you can find that at the New York, New York.
Awesome. Our next question comes from Red White. Is there a big difference in probability of winning using a 3-point Molly versus continually adding come bets and full odds every time you cover the table?
No. If I remember correctly, a 3-point Molly is where you make a pass bet and then 2 come bets, and then continually adding come bets is just another strategy. But the house advantage is the same either way. So just do whichever one of those 2 that you enjoy more, is my advice. Seems like we lost Heather again, so I will just pick a question myself. Let's scroll down here. And I apologize if I'm skipping any good questions. Real Deck Gaming asks, we play in Florida card rooms and the dealers can wash the deck. Does that do anything considering they are being placed into a shuffle machine? No, that doesn't affect the house edge at all. It's just adding another level of randomness to the game. And frankly, there is an advantage play in trying to exploit automatic shufflers. I don't know much about it, but I've heard a lot about people doing this who somehow can track a particular card or a sequence of cards as it passes through a shuffler. So adding a wash is an extra level of security that the casinos do sometimes. But for the recreational player, it doesn't matter at all. And hi, Heather, you're back. I answered myself the question about washing the deck. So with that, I will pass it back to you.
Awesome. What is the difference between regular Baccarat and mini Baccarat?
It's just the size of the table, and maybe some of the procedures of the game. In mini Baccarat, the players, it's at a blackjack size table, and the players just bet player, banker, tie, and any side bets that they may have. Whereas regular Baccarat is, which you hardly ever see anymore, has a big table, and the player who makes the biggest bet usually is the one that gets to turn over the cards and blah, 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 a lot of procedural stuff. But you don't really see so-called regular Baccarat anymore. And now there might be kind of like a hybrid called mini Baccarat that's done on a smaller table, but the player still gets to touch the cards and flip them over and rip them up if he wants to. But yeah, again, no matter how it's done, the odds are the same.
Can I add a couple things to that?
Sure.
Regular Baccarat is also known as big Baccarat, and on a big Baccarat table, you can actually tear the cards or bend them or do whatever you want because the cards are only used once and then they're like thrown away. And I know Caesar's Palace has a big Baccarat table in their high limit, and usually most casinos, if they do have big Baccarat, it would be in the high limit area.
Yep. Okay, next question.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Did you want to do the Starburst?
Yes. I forgot about that. Okay, so let me review. So last week, I don't know how this came up, but Heather claims to be able to tell the flavor of a Starburst by just the taste. So
Yep.
Is that correct, Heather?
That's correct.
And do you want to make some kind of a wager on this?
Sure. What do you want to do?
Okay, first of all, what are you claiming you can do? So I saw 5 Starbursts in that bowl, or no, 6. Two of them
There
look pink.
are
Are those the same?
no. I have one of each. I bought the normal ones and then I bought the reds. So watermelon is in there and fruit punch is in there, and then you have the normal strawberry, cherry, orange, and lemon.
So do you think you can get all 6 right?
No, but I think I could get most of them right.
Okay. Do you think you can get at least 4 right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to bet?
Are we doing money or are we doing something more fun?
Let's do something fun. How
Ooh.
about the loser has to sing on the next live stream?
I might run away some of your audience.
They can take it. They will like it.
Okay, well that would be embarrassing. So that's a good one to lose.
Okay, so if you lose, I'm open to trading it where you have to do something else. But the loser will have to do something a little bit embarrassing.
I like that. I think that
Okay.
sounds good.
Okay, so we're trusting you on this. Do you have a blindfold?
I forgot the blindfold, but I could close my eyes.
Okay, we're going to have to trust that you keep them closed. Is there
We'll
anything
take
like
my
a
glasses
pillowcase
off.
you could put over your head just for an extra layer of security?
I am completely blind, and there's no way I'm reading the words on the Starburst without my glasses.
And you
And I'll
can't
have my
even-
eyes closed.
Can you tell the color without your glasses?
I'm gonna have my eyes closed,
Okay.
but just in case I was
Okay,
cheating,
I trust
couldn't.
you.
Okay. And then
Okay.
I figured, do you want to do one Starburst and then we'll do a question and we'll do one Starburst? Question.
Well, I think let's just do the starburst the whole way.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know if I could chew that fast, but okay.
Give them a good mix, a good washing.
Good washing.
Mhm.
And then I really hope I could open this without looking. I think that might be, oh, good. I can open it. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Can you do this with any candy?
No, I don't have a very strong sense of flavor, so I would be almost guessing with Starburst.
This one is strawberry. Yep. I don't know if you
Okay.
can see it.
Okay, that's 1 right, 0 wrong. Good job.
Okay. I'm going to have to. There is no way I'm going to be able to chew it and eat it all and everything and still have time to do all this.
Do you need to wash out your mouth to clear your palate?
That would be wonderful. That
If
would
you
be
wanna
really
go-
awesome.
Okay, so you have water there.
I always have water next to me. Okay, here we go. What's your favorite candy?
Of the kind that like you might buy in a gas station, it would be Reese's peanut butter cups.
Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yep.
Cool. I think I'm destroying the wrapper on this. There we go. It's really hard to open this without looking. Oh, this is orange. Nasty. Oh, lemon. I should have
Okay.
picked.
Well, they're both citrus flavors, but that's 1 right and 1 wrong.
Okay.
But your chances are getting better because there's fewer flavors left.
Yeah. And I never eat the orange or the lemon because I can't stand the taste of it.
What do you do with them?
I get the reds. If I ever buy this, I always buy the reds.
Okay, I thought that you bought like a bag that had a mixture of them.
Uh-uh. Okay, this one's orange. Yep, orange.
Okay, 2 right, 1 wrong.
Okay. We got 3 more left. Wow, you don't normally hear the sirens from your house.
I don't hear any sirens, but today has been a cacophony of leaf blowers. This
Yeah.
is the time in Vegas when leaves fall from the trees, and it seems like every landscaper is in my neighborhood blowing leaves.
This one is cherry. And I totally destroyed the wrapper. Yep, we're at cherry.
Okay, so that's 3 right and 1 wrong, and it would be obvious you would get the last one right because there would be just one left.
There's 2 more.
Right, but well, let's just do the next one just to see how if you can get 5 or else if you can get 4 right or 5 right, but you win the bet
Okay.
either way.
Okay. I think I have fruit punch and strawberry left. So those are my 2 options. I think this is I'm going to have to say this one's strawberry. Yep. Oh no, it's watermelon. I got 2 wrong.
Okay, so that's 3 right, 2 wrong, but there's only 1 left, so you would obviously get the last one right.
Mm-hmm.
So this would end with 4 right and 2 wrong. So congratulations, Heather. You win the bet and the challenge. And we'll discuss later what I have to do for my side of the losing bet.
I am so glad I didn't say I was going to get all of them right.
And if the audience has any suggestions of what I should have to do for losing the bet, feel free to put those ideas in the comments.
I love that. Okay. So the next question, gambling question, and now that we're going to go back to that. And I want you to do a candy identification bet. I think that would be really fun.
I would not do very well at it. It would not impress anybody.
Northern Jim says, many people told me that table rules for blackjack at Fontainebleau are really good. Have you observed that as well?
I know I went there like 2 days after it opened, and as I recall, it was all 6 to 5 on the main casino floor. So yeah, well, let's check my website to see. So I'm going to go to Wizard of Vegas. And then I go to surveys and then the blackjack survey. And let's scroll down to the Fontainebleau. And it looks like we don't have an entry for that. So this clearly needs to be updated. So sorry about that. Another good source is, but you need a password for this, but I'm just going to try anyway, bj21.com. And let's see, where do I go? I'm going to click on blackjack. And then I'm going to click on blackjack basics. I don't know where they keep the survey. I used to be a Greenship member. Let's see if it still has my path. No, I cleared my cookies since then. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have any additional information to offer, but when I visited, if I remember correctly, it was all 6 to 5 on the main casino floor, which is especially bad rules. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong about that.
Okay. Our next one is from Real Deck Gaming. We play in Florida card rules. We play in Florida card rooms, and the dealers can wash the deck. Does that do anything considering that they are placed into the shuffle machine?
I answered that one while your router went out.
Oh,
But,
okay.
I was just thinking that everything that I just said, I think I was confusing the Fontainebleau with Resorts World. So
Hmm.
I apologize to the Fontainebleau. Um, I, t- yeah, I just do not remember. Um, you know, another thing I can do, let me go to my old newsletters. So, because I think I wrote one about the Fontainebleau after it opened. So I'm going to go to the bottom, click on newsletters, and I'm going to do a search on Fontainebleau, which I'm off. Okay, I have 2 old newsletters: Fontainebleau Report Part 1 and Part 2. Okay, see that they had 29 blackjack tables. Okay, here's what I say. Of the 25 blackjack tables, 25 paid 6 to 5 on a blackjack with a minimum of at least $20. There were only 4 legitimate 3 to 2 tables, 2 at a $25 minimum, 1 at 50 and 1 at 100. Otherwise, the rules were dealer hits a soft 17, 6 deck, double after a split, resplitting aces are allowed, and surrender was not allowed. So there you have it. I was right to begin with. At least when I visited right after they opened, all 25 tables on the main casino floor paid 6 to 5 on a blackjack. So maybe they've changed the rules since then, but that is all I can offer. And if you want to learn more, this was in my December 21st, 2023 newsletter.
Okay.
And it looks like we lost Heather again, so I'm going to pick a question myself. Okay, Technic asks, no, let's go to this. Northern Jim says, I have a similar skill. I can tell Coke from Pepsi by sight. I won the Pepsi challenge many times in grocery stores without even touching the cups. That's interesting. I tend to think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but Pepsi has smaller bubbles. Anyway, that's interesting. Technic says, my hometown casino's mini baccarat table deals each of the players' cards, but at the table at my Vegas casino deals player cards that applies to all players. Is one version better than the other? No, it's the same either way. Absolutely, exactly the same. So let's see what else we got. So Real Deck Gaming asks about DJ Wild. I don't remember much about that game, so I'm probably not going to know the answer to any question about that. And welcome back, Heather. I was just answering questions by myself, and I will hand it back to you.
Which one are we at?
I addressed the question by Real Deck Gaming about DJ Wild. So the last 5 comments in the chat I have not read.
Okay, so our next question comes from N Monster, who says, do automatic shufflers stack the deck, or are they truly random?
They are truly random. As I was saying in a previous question, it's been known that advantage players have figured out how they work, at least partially, and may be able to track a card through a shuffle, but there's absolutely no cheating going on. They do use random mechanisms to take cards or clumps of cards and put them back in the shoe in random locations. However, and again, I don't know too much about this, but they involve breaking the shoe into like the shelves with a particular number of cards in each shelf. So they might take a card and randomly determine which shelf to put it in. But I think that it's impossible for a card to go to like the bottom or the top shelf, and maybe that can be exploited a little bit. But yeah, there's nothing nefarious going on with automatic shufflers trying to cheat players, if that's what you're getting at. So that is all I have on that one.
Our next question is for me, but I would love to know what your thoughts are on this. What is the single most annoying thing a player can do at a table? So for me personally, as a casino dealer, when a player is trying to play the hand of another player and it's not, they don't know the person, that's really annoying. Another thing is when they're playing money plays and it's $5 money plays, lose, $5 money plays, lose, $5, like just buy in for some chips. I swear. And then the other thing is when a player keeps taking their phone out to text, or they like want to do a phone call on the table and they won't listen to me when I tell them that that's not allowed, and they don't go get off the table. That's really annoying. There's so many things I could list. How about you?
I really hate it at blackjack when you get blamed for allegedly making a bad play, causing the whole table to lose. It's absolutely a myth that bad players make everyone else lose on a, shall we say, that like they lower the house advantage or increase the house advantage for other players. Bad players are just as likely to help you as they are to hurt you. And so I furthermore know perfect strategy, and I often get criticized by people that don't. And I notice that a lot of people don't like it when the last player splits, even if it's an appropriate split. But nevertheless, mind your own business and let other players play the cards however they want, even including playing them badly.
Yep, 100%.
Oh, and I also hate smokers at the table.
Yes.
I know that they're allowed to smoke, but I feel that just as a matter of etiquette, that if the table has just non-smokers to begin with, and you're a smoker and you join that table, you should ask, does anyone mind if I smoke? And if just one person minds, then you shouldn't smoke, or just don't even smoke at all if you don't see other players smoking. So yeah, that really annoys me. When I was at a table first and was pleasantly enjoying a non-smoking table, and then a smoker comes and starts smoking. And a couple things to add is I would like to put out a little bit of praise for the Park MGM, Las Vegas's only non-smoking casino. Yay. And also I think it's a general policy of all Caesars casinos that a player can request a table be non-smoking, and if the players unanimously agree, then they will put out a non-smoking sign. So yay to Caesars for doing that, and I should remember to do that more often.
That reminded me of another pet peeve of mine. When you have a full table of people and then the last person that sits down has the worst body odor in the entire world and everyone can smell it, that's also very annoying, especially for the dealer who can't leave.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that, but hopefully that's not me.
No, not you. I don't think I've ever.
People who have that in bad breath never seem to know it.
Yeah, that's true. No, every single time we've ever hung out, you have never been one of those people. You've never smelled, so you don't have to worry. Northern Jim has a comment. He says, I have a similar skill. I can tell Coke from Pepsi by sight. I won the Pepsi challenge many times in grocery stores without even touching the cups.
Yeah, I commented on that one while your router was
okay.
down.
Sorry.
I took the Pepsi challenge once and I preferred Coke. And I think Coke has kind of a nuttier flavor that I prefer over Pepsi.
Did you do this one? My hometown casino's mini baccarat table deals with each player's cards, but the table
I addressed that one.
Okay. And you did the real deck with DJ Wild. So let's do Dal Brixon, who says, Heather, could you also do that challenge with M&Ms? No. Just make it real easy. No. Northern Jim says Pepsi is brighter. Steven says, have you ever found an actual chemin de fer table?
It's chemin de fer, and
Oh,
no, I think that I turned 21 in 1986, and I think by that time, chemin de fer had gone the way of the dodo bird. And for the audience that may not understand the question, chemin de fer is a predecessor of baccarat, where the two sides had free will in some situations, like the banker side, or no, the player could decide if he wanted to take a card or not with a five, and then the banker could also have free will. And this only mattered with like three situations. And you see that in some of the older James Bond movies, they play chemin de fer. And so that's why some players might be confused, because you play baccarat and it's all automatic, but in the James Bond movies, you see the players having free will. So that's chemin de fer when you get free will, and I have never ever seen that. And when I've been to Monte Carlo, I've asked about that, and they said no. It's all the standard rules now. So I don't, I'd be interested to know it exactly, like where and when was the last chemin de fer table, but I tend to think that it would that went the way of regular baccarat in the late 60s or early 70s.
okay. If you guys have any gambling questions for Mike, please put them in the chat. Speak now or forever hold your peace. What's Cracking says, I heard IGT has stopped making AP slots. Is that true?
I don't know. That's a good question. And if I don't know the answer, I'm going to say, I just don't know. But I'm going to keep that in mind, and maybe ask some slot vultures that I know.
Cool. Our next question is from Real Deck, who says, have you ever been banned from a casino, considering you have a far more advantage than other players with you being a mathematician?
I've never been banned like for that reason. I've been kind of informally banned at a couple times. Is one time at the El Cortez, when I was just 21. I was card counting and doing it really aggressively, and right there blatantly in front of a supervisor, and the count got good, and I shoved out a big bet, and he just gruffly said to the dealer, "Don't deal the cards." And and um, but the dealer started to deal anyway, because I think he didn't speak English well, and then the dealer just like shoved my bet back in my face, and he said, "Get out of here." And then I like stacked up my chips for the dealer to color out, and the pit boss, again, like a really just gruff, angry old man, said, "Just take those to the cage," and then, like, as I was walking away, he said something like, "Don't come back," or something like that. So, and the other time is I was at a casino in Jaco, Costa Rica, and I was with a bunch of friends, and one of them was acting kind of like a jerk and um, badgering the dealer. I was behaving myself as I always do, and I don't remember all the details, but the I guess the dealer or the floorman eventually just got so sick of him, that he made all of us leave. And they were also just quite rude about it, like, "Just get out of here, all of you." And so I didn't know, if it was just a ban for the day or a permanent one, but but yeah, those were the only times I've been kind of told to just leave. But I've never been read the Trespass Act, and most of the time I'm just prohibited from blackjack, or I'm not allowed to play any table game at the MGM Mirage casinos.
Okay. Our next question comes from Northern Jim, who says, at my local casino, They suddenly removed all 3-card poker tables. A friendly dealer told me that the losses were huge. Is that possible?
Well, maybe the dealer was flashing the hole card, and maybe they got hit by a hole carding team. Who knows? Maybe they were just dealing badly somehow, and they got hit by advantage players. I don't know anything else about it, but that game has a house advantage on the anti bet of about 2.5%, and on the player pair plus it's like 7%. So there's no reason that game shouldn't be making good money. But if it was just losing money consistently, I would think that there was just something wrong with their game. And but like I really, other than again, I suspect it might have been hole carders, but I just do not know. And there are experts that you can turn to, like Jim Kilby or Elliot Jacobson, who you can consult for situations like that.
Yeah. And I just want to add a couple things. It doesn't matter how good a game is if the dealer can't deal the game. And if you have bad dealers dealing the game badly, it's going to lose money.
Yep. Yeah. And again, if a game, or especially all tables of a certain game, are consistently losing money, again, I suspect that it's not being dealt properly.
Our next one is from Roberto, who says, I know a slot vulture who got banned from a casino for playing too much AP slots. They have a rule of no more than 70% AP per member. Can the player still profit in these situations?
Yes. You could just do 30% video poker, preferably at the best pay table you can find. So I think that, I would just mix in a little video poker with your play, and you would still have an advantage. And furthermore, even if a casino doesn't have this exact 70% policy, I'm hearing more and more stories about AP slot players getting kicked out. So it would not hurt, if you're looking for longevity, to mix some legitimate play. And again, I'd recommend video poker just to improve your chances to not get kicked out.
Yeah. So our next gambling question comes from Sam H., who's...
It looks like we lost Heather again, so I'm going to take over by myself. Sam H. says, do you think there is anything shady about stadium craps? And why do you think crapless has become popular recently? As to the first question, no, absolutely. There's nothing shady about stadium craps. It has the same odds as regular craps. There's nothing nefarious going on, no magnets, no blowing air, nothing like that. And why do you think crapless craps has become popular recently? I just don't know. It's funny why some games are popular in some areas and why suddenly they become popular. Like, you could look at Blackjack Switch. That was at the Casino Royale for like 10 years, and it was only there. And then just suddenly it shot up in popularity. And crapless craps, when I did a trip to Detroit a while ago, crapless craps was more popular than regular craps. Why Detroit players like it so much, I just don't know. But it's starting to become more and more popular here. I would say that in Vegas now, maybe 1 table in 5 is crapless craps. So yeah, who knows? Maybe some players are just getting a little bored with regular craps and want to change, but I do want to throw out there that the odds are better with regular craps. So that is about as far as I can take that one. And welcome back, Heather.
Hey. I swear I'm buying a new router today. Our next one comes from What's Cracking. Do you think it's possible to beat craps if you learn how to throw the dice to your advantage?
Oh boy, a lot of craps questions today. Yeah, I actually talked about this on your show, Heather. And no, absolutely, I'm very skeptical of this. I know that a lot of people think that they control the dice with their throw, but I think that they are um, uh, deceiving themselves. I think that it's a case of confirmation bias where they remember all the times when the rolls went their way and they give themselves credit for influencing the dice. But no, after getting this question for at least 10 years now, I have yet to see proof that anybody can influence the dice. I'm not saying that there's zero people, but if there are, I haven't seen the evidence. And I think there's way more money to be made in making videos and selling lessons and books on influencing the dice than actually doing it yourself. And I might remind you of the adage that goes like this: those who can do, those who can't teach.
I like that. And thank you again so much for being a guest on the show today. If you guys want to see that, we did a whole video on how to be a better craps player. If you Google Vegas Aces Blackjack, my channel will come up and it's the newest video out there. Otherwise, if you don't put the Blackjack in there, you're going to get Vegas Aces, the basketball team.
Okay. Well, Heather, I'll let you pick out any last good-looking comments or questions, but let's cut it off for any future questions because we're out of time.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see if anyone has a good question that we can end this with. We have several questions here to choose from. And while I'm doing that, when would be a good time to do the next AMA?
Let's see here. How about December 26th, the day Kwanzaa begins?
Ooh,
And maybe
26.
Yep.
Isn't that Christmas?
Christmas is the 25th.
It's the day after Christmas. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think that's also known as Boxing Day.
Oh.
But maybe we'll have some Christmas trivia or Kwanzaa trivia. But does that work with you, Heather?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. So December 26th.
Awesome. And our last question for the day comes from Technics, who says, when slot culturing and the machine is in the positive state, how much does that really increase your odds of winning?
Well, he means slot vulturing. I'm sure that was
I thought so.
And you know, it all depends on how much the game is in a positive state. For example, with Buffalo Ascension, you need, I think it's 3136 to be positive. I know it's 49 times 64. Yeah, 3136. That's the magic number. So on my downtown Las Vegas tour yesterday, I saw such a machine that was like at 5,000 something. So I had to stop the tour and said, I have to play this machine. And it was on the lowest level, the dollar level. And I quickly won like $30. And it reset down to exactly 3136. And so I said, I got to keep playing. It's at 3136. And so I played it some more and I gave back most of that 30. I still won like $7. Yeah, but so there's an example where when it was 30-30 or 136, I actually lost $23 playing into that because it was a very marginal case. And of course, there's always luck with gambling. So yeah, so your odds of winning absolutely are going to depend upon how good the game, how good of a state the game is. The game can, it's not just in a good or a bad or a neutral state. It's a whole spectrum from being in a terrible state to being in an outstanding state.
And then to end this live stream, Jason wanted to remind me that the 26th is Santa's birthday. But when I read that the first 2 or 3 times, I swear it was Satan's birthday. And I'm thinking Satan's birthday. Like, no, it's Santa.
Are
It's
you
not
dyslexic?
Satan. It just looked that way to me.
Okay. Well, so this will be the last live stream before Christmas. So I wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus, my favorite of those 3. Happy belated winter solstice. No, it is not winter solstice yet. That is on like the 21st, right? Yes, the 21st. So first day of winter. And whatever you celebrate, have a good time. Do not go crazy with the commercialism. Let's keep it simple and friendly, people. And yeah, those are my season's greetings. And do you have anything to say, Heather?
I hope you guys all have a fun and filling and lots of food to eat, and just make it a good one.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. See you on December 26th.
See you later. Bye, everyone.